or maybe in future we'll try to think about whether and how can we launch our own chain to fill the physically resources like bandwidth, or maybe not. Maybe on chain is already good enough.
So the terminology is flexible, but the concept is similar, right?
Yes.
The idea of going back to the Meson network, like removing the need for humans to negotiate. That's kind of why smart contracts are so great. Yeah.
Yes, removing that.
You're tuned to the ArCast, where we talk about the blockchain on the ArCast and how your data remains the ArCast, where Arweave is the topic, censorship-resistant permanence. Yeah, we got it. Hi, friends. You're listening to the ArCast. This is episode 25. I'm your host, Andrew. The ArCast is brought to you by RIO. We want to thank our supporters, Pianity. By that, we mean we love them. And Kevin was on an episode earlier. Just wanted to shout them out. Part of the community that keeps us going. So this week, we're talking to Sherlock Shi from the Meson Network. And we talk about how the Arweave data decentralization model can help explain how the Meson Network decentralizes bandwidth. It's a really cool, revolutionary project. We'll be back with Community Call 14 on Twitter this week, Twitter Spaces. So stay tuned to that. This Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern, we'll be talking about what's new with Arweave and what's up with Inferno and what's good with Discord and all that exciting stuff. Maybe you'll hear some elephant trivia. I don't know. But stay tuned to that. In the meantime, this is my interview with Sherlock on the ArCast, episode 25. Let's go. Hello, friends. Welcome to the ArCast. This week, we have Sherlock from Meson. Sherlock, thanks for being on the ArCast. Tell us a little bit about how Meson works.
Yeah, sure. I can briefly introduce how we started about Meson Network. Actually, during the end of 2020, around, I guess, I remember November. Yes, November. We formally registered our foundation in Singapore. So that's all the things starts. And how we try to solve, how the problem comes from. I'm a backend programmer, and I will run some machines from cloud service providers. So the point is, lots of resources I have run is unutilized, and I try to find a way to monetize them, like the unused part. So I found some like solutions or some applications like TikTok, like short video companies, long video streaming guys, and they have actually paid lots of money for the bandwidth part. So maybe I think, okay, can we contribute my unutilized bandwidth into such guys their company or their applications to get some revenue? It looks good, but the point here is I don't know someone else in like the short video or long video company. I don't know someone else. They are the sales team or somebody. They are in the cloud service providers. So I can't have a call with them. And finally, I just only can let my resources wasted. So the problem, their next step converted to why no one just reached me to get the resources, because I'm a very small users. I'm a long tail users, and the model we use in the internet world or for the 10 to 15 years, the model is we try to use the sales team, the people to aggregate resources. Right? If you want to do business, you have to know somebody else. You need to know, oh, he's my friend, or he's my friend's friend, and I can call him. But for us, yes, like actually, we are nobody, so no one care about us, even though we have some valuable resources. And then think different. If we can find a new way to aggregate like 100 or 1,000 people like me, my resources together, right? If we are alone, we are nobody. If thousands of us together, maybe we are somebody, right? And we can give the company add more like $1 million or maybe $5 million to save their cost. So during their model, we think, okay, maybe we can build a bandwidth marketplace. And the marketplace is, we don't want to restriction anyone else who will be allowed to enter a market. We just offer them a protocol, or you can say offer them a standard. So anyone who follow our standard, they can join our network to contribute their bandwidth resources, no matter the size they are. I guess this is the how the things we brought by the crypto or by the blockchain is permissionless, right? So we should not make any threshold. People has their resources have different features, have different like high capacity or low latency or distributed in different countries, but we just let them to join by themselves and let the people who need it to choose the resources. So this is how the bandwidth comes from and the early stage of the Meson network.
How does it work with something like Arweave and like storage? How would it integrate with Arweave?
I give you two things here. First, you mentioned we try to remove the people. You catch the very important factor because the model I have mentioned before, like using sales team, salesperson, sales guys. It's like a top-down model. The top-down model is if you want to explore a new market, for example, you want to go to Africa or you want to go to like Colombia, South America right now, Bogota, you need to find some people who are familiar with this market, or maybe they are born up here, and they can help you to integrate maybe the Bogota, the Colombia data center or their telecoms, right? This model works well, but let's think different. If you want to build a global marketplace, how many people, how many sales you need to hire? And you need to maintain them, right? If you check the prospectors and on also their report from the tech giants, like the cloud service providers like AWS and like some Google and maybe Alibaba Cloud, their cost for the sales team has even close to their R&D team. So this, it's crazy. Like they need to pay lots of extra money for people, and you can count on the efficiency of people. It means like if you have 100 people or 50 people in your team, it's good. But if you explore a team to 10,000 of people in your team, I have to say efficiency is going to decrease a lot. So that's a problem existed. And why we try to remove that factor, because if you need to build something really big, really big, if you want to build a marketplace which can sometime, maybe one day be much bigger than AWS and Google, and all of the cloud market right now existed, what's the model to reach that point? The answer is you should not use the same like top-down model. You should find a different model, like maybe bottom-up, like we have used right now. So bottom-up model actually try to remove the people factors in your system. What's the value of that? I can give you two cases here. The first case, we have right now we're in testnet. We have some users, they are living in the East Europe. Yeah, East Europe is not easy these days. For the people like me and maybe like Andrew, we only heard of the like AWS, like the AT&T, T-Mobile, Sprint, like Singtel, such companies, very, very giant guys. But if you a citizen live in the East Europe, maybe in Ukraine or Russia or any other countries, you may not use this service, but you gonna have your local telecom, just like in Colombia. Colombia has their own local telecom, right? But people live outside of this place, they have no idea. So Meson Network give them a chance that you live maybe in the Ukraine, the telecom, the cloud service there, and if you have underutilized them, the part of the resources, you can contribute into the Meson Network. Right, you can contribute it to the East Europe countries infra into Meson Network, and we don't need to have any sales teams there or any people there. We just maybe go to their forum or some Twitter or some place to say, hey, we have a project like Meson Network can contribute. You can reutilize your underutilized resources and some revenue. So that's the things we took to them, and then for somehow we have the resources from the East Europe, and that's the first case. And the second case. Think about Starlink. Starlink has tried to offer the bandwidth from the satellite, and if you are people living in Australia, you have buy the Starlink, you have pay $300-$400, I'm not sure, dollars to Elon Musk to Starlink. And right now you are in travel, maybe travel to different countries. You say, okay, my Starlink right now is underutilized. I can contribute to Meson Network. So for somehow. We don't need to know Elon Musk. We don't need to reach the guys in Starlink team, but we have the resources from the Starlink, from satellite bandwidth, right? If you have a sales team, they always think about, okay, we need to try to target some users there, but why not just let the people lived all around the world to contribute their resources by themselves. So there, like we right now have 10, at least 10 cloud service providers. We have no idea, but they are all based in the East Europe. I have not heard them, but my users contribute to our network. So that's the power of the remove people and give the people rights to join by themselves. So you no idea what's the supply side comes from, and you have no idea how the world existed right now in the different districts on the earth. And that's the power of the remove the people factors in the system. And second answer, how we support Arweave. Yeah, your question. It's quite a good point. Yes, our Arweave is pretty good. We can regard the things as the storage layer. Yeah, maybe right now we have lots of decentralized storages like Arweave, like some other protocol like IPFS or some other project as well, anyone else. So the things is, you can regard they all try to give an incentivize for storage part, which means you try to store the files on a decentralized network. It will cost you like some money or some token. And then the next problem is you need to try to solve the retrieval part, right? You store the data, looks quite good, but then someone else need to consume the data. How to do this? You need to actually retrieve the files from Arweave gateway. Like Arweave has maintained their own official gateway. It's called arweave.net/something else. And actually this gateway will be redirected to one of the Arweave nodes, and the nodes will directly transfer data to you. So during this whole process, the one point is no one got to be incentivized, because Arweave gateway, because they try to offer a much user-friendly things to the people, so they will offset things to pay for it, pay for the gateway service. But for the people who run the nodes, who run the raw data, run the whole data storages, if they don't be incentivized for transfer data, for example, if you store the 1 gigabyte like video in your nodes, and 1 million people try to retrieve that, this means maybe 100 gigabytes traffic per day. And 1 million gigabytes. It's really crazy. If you are very popular, the files, like it's a video or it's images, like an NFT, it's very popular. Maybe for one day, we will have 1 million requests. So it will cost you lots of money because traffic is much more expensive than the storage. So our point for Meson to support this is we can separate, or we can say decouple the storage and retrieval part, because if you try to design a storage node, you need to have a very complex incentivized system. The nodes may have some hard requirements, much higher, and you need to maintain the whole things. But for the retrieval part, the only thing you need to care is the bandwidth and the routers of the nodes. So if we can find a better routers, for example, like Arweave maybe have 100 or maybe thousands nodes, it's gonna be really crazy for layer 1 nodes. But for the retrieval part, for the bandwidth part, I guess 1 million nodes gonna be happy in the future. We have 1 million nodes all around the world distributed, and they can be quite big size, like they are from data center. They have high capacity, quite stable. They dedicate IP, and they may come from the people like Andrew, you, and me. Like right now, I'm in the hotel. I can share my hotspot to relay some data. For example, people who join the DevCon who need some traffic, he can relay from my network. So I guess that's a big difference. And we help Arweave to increase their speed or their experience for accelerating the images and videos and files.
That's a very good explanation, and it's very exciting, and it's very well thought out. So the solution is, if you distribute the bandwidth, making sure it's fast, right, and reliable. That's the key to it. Sounds like you're getting there.
Yeah, that's a good point. So, storage has the same, storage projects, they have the same problems, because if you store the files and someone else, they just quit the network, which means you may lose the one piece or one duplicate of the files. So for bandwidth is, like if you are right now, you are relay the files, and if some nodes quit it, and you may lose the relay. Right now we have two solutions for here. We're still work in progress, but we have two solutions. The first solution is called fallback strategy. Fallback. It's quite mature, like every network like be used in the internet world. They will have fallback. For example, they will have 3 gateway. The first gateway, they gonna be the Meson Network. And Meson Network, so when Meson Network, their default nodes failed or have some like outages or the degen, they gonna be fallback to another nodes. Another nodes may become the Meson premium nodes. For example, we picked some very high capacity and stable nodes for them to use, just like the Uber black cab. And then if it still fails, they gonna be fallback to the origins. Like origin is stored on Arweave. They can use Arweave nodes. Or maybe some guys, they from the from the internet world, they gonna use like Cloudflare, AWS to fallback. They will have the fallback strategy. So for us, we try to think, okay, how to design the fallback strategy in our system. The first choice is we can design the fallback in our network. Like we have maybe, for example, 10,000 or 20,000 of nodes. So if part of nodes fail, we're gonna fall back to another nodes. But then we found, okay, this rights should be given to the people who use the network, right? For example, if we offer this fallback strategy, it may be not quite friendly, like because we design the strategy, and sometimes you may use another strategy and you are waiting for our strategy response. For example, like if our strategy is Meson has the 3 layers, we're gonna try first, fallback 2, fallback 3, and then if we fail, we tell you we failed, right? But maybe if your use case is you will try once, and if our first layer failed, you need to try to another system, maybe called a default or called origin. So that's our choice, and we think we can deploy that our fallback strategy. It depends on you, but for the most good experiences, we let our users to choose their own strategy. Like they choose, okay, first is Cloudflare, second maybe is AWS, third is maybe Meson, or maybe choose different. The first is Arweave gateway, second is Meson, third is anyone else. Yeah, that's the first use case, first solutions here. The second is we need to ensure a way to avoid the nodes creating the network easily. I mean, the nodes have the right to create. They can create anytime, right? They just say, we shut down the machines, we shut down the nodes, it's created. So only thing we can do for a permissionless network is they're going to be punished. How to punish that? You know, if you check the blockchain punishment mechanism, there are 2 ways. The first way is like Ethereum 2.0. You need to stake. And if you have some mistakes, they're gonna slash your tokens, right? So this is one way, and I think it's not friendly to our users. And the second way is you need to be proving you are stable and you have maybe on live for 7 days, 1 month, 6 months to earn the credit, so that you can earn the most profitability from our network. So that's a choice we're gonna use. Like if you create network, and then you go back again, you need to have your credit again, maybe wait 1 month to get the credit to earn the most good revenue. So that's our choice for our solutions for avoid the network easily to people to quit.
Interesting. Yeah, it's similar to how the Arweave protocol works, right? You're rewarded when you can retrieve data.
Yes.
Cool. Like you've thought a lot about this. It solves this problem of globalization, decentralization. Super exciting. And it's really cool to learn about it. I'm curious, Sherlock, I wanted to talk about your background. So where were you born? Where did you grow up?
Yeah, actually, I'm born from Ningbo, Zhejiang, China. Yeah, it's a city south of the Shanghai. So like some of my grandparents, they may move to the Shanghai, and then right now they become the new Shanghai. And I'm the guy staying in the Ningbo, and this is the place I born up. I born up in the Chinese education system, and then I go to university. I major in mathematics, which is really good. I like mathematics so much, but then I'm also interested in programming. So I competed in ACM, ICPC. It's algorithm competitions, and I got some medals. And then actually I should graduate around 2018. Yeah, but I started to my first startups around 2017, which was I entered the crypto space. So during that time, I'm still a student, and I met a friend. He was also a guy in the ACM, the space, and he during that time he worked for Google. We know each other since in TechCrunch Hackathon. I'm the challenge winner, and he is in another team, so we know each other. And then we think, hey, why we just started to do something in crypto? So I with him, during the weekend, I would go to the Google office. Weekdays, Google employees work, but weekend, I go to the Google office, to his office, and talk with them to say, hey, how can we doing something crypto? I remember first thing I started the crypto zombies. I'm not sure whether crypto zombies. It's around CryptoKitties era. CryptoKitties is a ERC-71.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we have a crypto zombies. It's a project which taught people how to write smart contract in Solidity and how to launch your own ERC-71 smart contracts. So very lucky. After learning this crypto zombies, I and my friends, we wrote the first smart contract using the ERC-71 protocol, the standard. Right now we call them NFT. Yeah, actually during that time it's pretty old. And I remember within 3 days, 700 Ethereum Ether deposited into the smart contract. So made me feel, wow, it looks like the things is really powerful. So why we just started to learn more in this space. And then, during the normal procedure, after I graduate, I should go into tech companies, work for them, become a software programmer, developers, and one by one to do the things. But I just started to do the startup. So that's the first thing I started. But then around 8 months, I failed because I found I'm quite different mindset with my co-founders. So I created a team and I tried to run another things. It's actually OTC platform. It's much more like running a business, because 2019 we found OTC is really be needed from the market. So we run this platform and it's quite good and it's quite easy to satisfy the market. But the point here is, when I was a student, in the university, I found I can learn the technologies. I can learn the crypto, very fancy things every day, even though I'm not entering space. But when during 2018, looks like I'm already in the space, but I just doing something really boring. It's just making money, and I feel like I have a far distance from the real crypto space. So I choose to quit and then think, okay, what things should I do next? I choose to learn something. Then I joined a company. They have been crypto for more than 6 to 7 years, and I entered there to working for a crypto mining pool to designing the crypto proof of work system. It's a quite amazing things. Each day we need to struggle with the latency problem, like 5 milliseconds to 10 milliseconds latency, like doing with Ethereum. You have lots of competitors like other mining pools. You don't know each other, but okay, you have bad revenue. Your expectations is more than other map pools. So that's the things I learned the value of proof of work. Yes, that's the thing I want to share with you, because during the crypto mining pool, the experience, the most important things I try to learn what's the value of proof of work. The value of proof of work is not like most people think. They think it's like wasting energy or do something like meaningless calculations. I guess maybe they're right. But for me, you need to look another side. Another side is proof of work is converting electricity to another things called currency. It's like transform the things, right? Electricity, when I was live in different countries, sometimes I will go to the, in the summer, there are lots of water resources to generate electricity. But electricity is very hard to transfer from like one place to another place. For example, right, Europe right now, there are lack of electricity, right? The Norway, I remember, the marine cable has been cut down. So during this winter, it's going to be very hard for them to to like have the air conditioner or have something else. So, but for some other place, like if they are close to equator, they have very good sunshine, so they have lots of electricity there, like in Australia. But the point is, it's hard for you to transfer Australia's electricity to like Europe, to UK, to some countries there to support them. So most of the time, like electricity just be wasted. If you look all around the world, electricity supplier is more than the demand. So that's the things happening. And we try to develop a battery technology, but that battery is not quite good enough. Last week I was in the MIT with my friend. He majored there for his PhD in materials. He took me to the MIT labs to look how he developed the new materials for the battery. And I have to say the thing still not quite matured a lot, and batteries still have far way to go. Though we had developed a lot. And then another way, proof of work took to the world is we can convert the electricity to the currency. And currency like Bitcoin or Ethereum is very easily to store, very easy to be traded, to buy anything else. So that's a very proof of work. And then we look at the bandwidth part. We found bandwidth has the same patterns. Like the first pattern is batteries also, bandwidth is very hard to store. Like right now, if you are at home, your office bandwidth is underutilized, or you are in office, your home bandwidth is underutilized. You don't know how to store them; it's just wasted. Second, bandwidth has a local usage case. Like you can't use the bandwidth in Colombia, right? I'm right now to support people maybe in Singapore or in the US or in the Europe, right? It's because their submarine cable they have capacity, so they will not use the bandwidth like from different continents to support each other. So during that time, we found whether we can find some technology or find some mechanism to convert the bandwidth into currency, just like proof of work due to the electricity.
Wow. That's really interesting. I was wondering about that because I was thinking about how a lot of, especially like Bitcoin maxi, people talk a lot about how the environmental concerns with proof of work are kind of framed in a fake context. And the idea of using the extra energy for mining is really interesting. It's like it's a positive spin to it.
Proof of work, just my opinion, can become something like interplanet currency system. Right now, if you are using the US dollar, we follow the call SWIFT to between different countries. And, if someone go to Mars, maybe not quite Mars, maybe go to the moon at first, and then Elon is successful, he go to Mars. We may not have the SWIFT system on the Mars or on the moon, right? But think different, like if we took some ASIC machines to the moon, moon don't have the atmosphere, so they are more easily to get the sunshine, to get some electricity, and to generate electricity to the crypto mining. And then the communication between two network is in the light speed, so it's very quick between the Earth and the moon. So like for somehow we had deployed like SpaceX, they take lots of ASIC machines to moon, and we have lots of moon ASIC machines mining Bitcoin there. And when you don't need to take US dollar to take any currencies to the moon, you just take the Bitcoin to the moon. And someone else said, okay, I can also trade at moon, right? And then you go to Mars if we're successful. We don't know, okay, what's the currency there? The people who become there, they will build their own currency system. I guess it's not be the US dollar or any other currencies like Singapore dollar or RMB. But if you took Bitcoin there, someone else said, okay, I can offer LTC to convert your Bitcoin to the local currency. That's going to be amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's truly like talking about interplanetary exchange of value, right? You talked about smart contracts. What is the difference between how we utilize a smart contract for decentralizing bandwidth versus decentralizing data? Is it a different version of it, or is it a different concept altogether?
It's very hard right now to use the like typically smart contract to solve things like mostly we think we talk about smart contracts. It means like the Ethereum EVM compatible things. Like if you have running things in virtual machine, using this OP code, you do the things. But for the physical resources, you can use smart contract to realize them, right? Like it's smart contracts all on chain, are on chain, but how can you feed in the things off chain, right? You can't use Ethereum to feel like your storage, like your home storage, your home bandwidth, your home maybe LoRa network just called Helium, right? Helium can use right now Ethereum smart contract to fill the proof of I don't know any verifications off chain. So the same thing is gonna happen like storages. I guess one way is we can upload the proof and maybe some worker rules kind of things on chain, and then to do the most of the calculations off chain. This is like trade-off solutions right now, but for bandwidth, the same solutions just like that. If we don't have very good performance on chain, like layer one or any chains, they don't have very good proof of the TPS. We have to do the way like that. We only upload the proof or the root on chain and do the most of things off chain. And the second way is you need to launch your own chain. Your own chain is designed to feeding the physically things. Like your own chain said, okay, I can measure like your storages, just like Arweave, right? And the off chain, your own chain can feed in the another LoRa IoT or maybe right now 5G network, just like Helium, or maybe in future we'll try to think about whether and how can we launch our own chain to fill the physically resources like bandwidth, or maybe not. Maybe on chain is already good enough.
So the terminology is flexible, but the concept is similar, right?
Yes.
The idea of going back to the Meson Network, like removing the need for humans to negotiate. That's kind of why smart contracts are so great. Yeah.
Yes, removing that.
Obviously, Meson's been really good at your marketing, getting the word out. I'm really glad we could have you on the ArCast. Thank you for your great answers and for being so focused, and just for sharing your wisdom and your love of this technology with our users, because I know they can relate and I know that they'll be equally excited about it. Sherlock, where can people follow news about the project and learn more?
Yes, you can just go to the Twitter. The handle is called @networkmeson. Yes, so @networkmeson. So you're gonna find the official project, the Twitter handle. And myself, Twitter handle is Sherlock, Sherlock SHI underscore AHA. Yes, that's my own Twitter account.
Okay, cool. Anything you want to announce coming up in the near future that you can talk about?
Yes, so I can say that. The first is right now we run a testnet. We run testnet for a couple months, really long months, and proved it's really good. So we right now have support some like the real users, crypto users, in the projects for them to the service, and they are likely to pay money for us. So we tried in the following months, we try to deliver a new tokenomics system or the mechanism, so that during testnet, maybe people can use the two sides. Like people who want to pay the money to our service, they can pay it, and then we can move this money to distribute it to people who supply the network. Because right now the point is we use 1% of our mainnet token to incentivize for testnet, our supply side. And I have to say, yeah, we have very good users. They support our network, but right now we don't have very good mechanism to move the demand side, their revenue to the supply side. We plan to do it around the mainnet launch, but I guess we can do it much earlier. We can test it. We can do these things. We can test whether it's available, whether it works, or if we made a mistake, we can modify them.
Can people get involved in the testnet, or do you kind of have like a select group of people who are already doing it?
Yeah, I mean, the testnet, it's called testnet, but actually all the resources, they are real, they are valuable, and people like Phantom, they have Twitter at us, so I can say that Phantom is using our testnet to serve their real users. So if you want to use networking, just use it right now.
Hey, cool.
I mean, our testnet is not like the typical testnet. It's just like we do an early test or early experiment, and it works. And when it works, the only job we need to do is to move smoothly to the mainnet, rather than stop testnet and launch another mainnet another mainnet.
How many countries are using the test net, would you say? Is it hard to know? It sounds like Phantom's using it's pretty global, huh?
I guess the most users of Phantom, they are based in the US, yes, but Phantom team told me they had deployed our gateway area of their wallet, like mobile, like browser, yes.
Well, keep me posted. I'd love to meet you in real life and talk more about your project. This has been a really, really cool interview, Sherlock, and I appreciate you being on the ArCast. I know our listeners appreciate you.
Thanks for having me, Anthony. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sherlock. We'll be back in 2 weeks with episode 26 of the ArCast, brought to you by RIO. Be sure to tune in to the community call on Twitter Spaces this Friday at noon. Halloween's coming up. And you know what I want to be for Halloween? Someone who knows before they stows. Candy or anything else. Thanks for listening.